Hey everybody, in this video I want to go over how to calculate what your net worth is. Essentially it's the assets, the stuff that is valuable to you, subtracted from the liabilities, things that you owe to other people. I'm going to show you my template for how I've been tracking my net worth, why I recommend that others should be tracking their net worth, approximately how frequently I'd recommend doing it, and where my current net worth is, where it was, and what we want in the future. Looking forward to it. All right, so in this particular Excel file, I have my net worth calculations that I've been calculating from the end of 2012 all the way to July of 2019. And I've been doing this every 6 months. So a few of the things that you noticed are I have an asset column, and then as you go down, I have a liabilities column. Assets are essentially things that if you sold it or if you got rid of it, it would give you cash in your pocket right now. Liabilities are stuff that you might owe to someone else, and obviously negative. To find your net worth, all you got to do is you take your assets and you subtract your liabilities. So some of the main assets that we've had from 2012, and I did have to change these at times, like checking account, savings accounts, Roth IRA. TRS is the Texas retirement system. That is the pension plan that I have from school. Wife's Roth IRA. My wife had a regular IRA for a little while. We had a 401k a little while, which we converted into Roth IRAs in the future. The only two cars we've had since 2012 were my Toyota Corolla and a Hyundai Sonata. I put the private party value, because again, I said assets are money that you could get back if you sold that asset. So I put the private party values from KBB, approximate amount of money I could sell the cars for. That's my assets. For the house, once we moved in 2015, I'm using a 3% return per year. It's hard to know the exact estimate of what my house would sell for, so I'm just estimating 3% a year. It might actually be a little bit higher in real life, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so I'm just going conservative 3%. When you add all these up, you'll get a total. For liabilities, we have credit cards, 3 different credit cards. Mortgage I put as a liability. So my asset was the value of the house. The mortgage balance due is a liability because I obviously have to pay that off. And we had a loan for the Hyundai Sonata. We had a loan for the Toyota. And then the total liabilities would be all these numbers added up here. Assets minus liabilities would be the main net worth that we have. Now, ideally, your net worth is steadily increasing over time. It doesn't necessarily increase every year. If you have a big brokerage or Roth IRA account and the market goes down quite a bit one year, you might have a negative net worth in those years. So definitely take that into account. As long as you're constantly putting money into these accounts, though, over long periods of time, you should be benefiting. I put the income for the year, and then I stopped actually calculating that because I wanted to see how much the change in the net worth went up depending on the income that I made. I put taxes for the year, and then I actually stopped calculating that. I could easily look them up based on all the tax statements we have now. And I also used to put money into retirement, how much we put in every year. All this, I would say, is optional. I'd say for beginners, definitely just do that. So my liabilities. For a few years, I did total retirement money, and that's based on the videos that I've been doing on the definitive teacher retirement video, where we're looking at the total Roth IRA amount we have. Go money chimp and compound interest to 65 at 10%, and then I times that by 4%. That's how much I could easily take out of my retirement accounts, and also look at the TRS money. I was tracking that quite a bit in terms of even 4 or 5 years ago. Net worth increase each month, I think, is a pretty clever one to look at, although the number is not going to be necessarily that high. Let's say that you get 10% in your stocks, and then you look at your debt repayment minus the interest, so how much money you're putting into debt, finding your savings and your TRS. I was writing down how much per month they would go up based on all those things. Percent saved, I was initially looking at 2. That's my total income that I make divided by the amount that I'm putting into the asset column. I put major life events, quite a bit of major life events that I put every 6 months. Found I'm having a baby in the first one. Set up a Roth IRA. My wife stayed at home. So these big life events might influence the numbers on the net worth, but this is a good big picture view of where net worth was going. I'm going to do another video calculating the current net worth because the last one I did was on July 5th of this year. But just numbers in bold. December 2012, we didn't have a house yet. Our total assets were $64,722. Total liabilities were $21,113. You subtract the two, you get $43,589. That was our net worth in 2012. Look at July, and these numbers might be a little bit better when I look at December. Total assets in July last year, or July last year was $280,516. My net worth in assets went up $220,000. Again, some of it is a house, or quite a bit's a house. House value is about $163,000. But even so, our assets have been increasing in the last 7 years quite a bit. Liabilities, we started with $21,000 in liabilities. We've been getting into massive amounts of debt, and we owe $129,000 in debt. What have we been doing? All this stuff on credit. Now remember the mortgage. Mortgage is part of a liability. Mortgage is $128,000. So we owe $129,000. Essentially just a very nominal amount of credit cards right here that we pay off in full every month. We have no car loans. The only loan we really have is the house. If you take your total asset number, subtract from the liability number, you get your net worth. And our net worth in July was $151,417. Again, this gives a good big picture view of what you're doing. I would recommend at least once a year calculating your net worth statement, seeing your assets, seeing your liabilities, subtract the two, and then make a plan to increase your assets or decrease your liabilities. I recommend do a little bit of both. If you have a lot of liabilities, I'd recommend lowering those as much as you can. Maybe just have a house payment and nothing else. Once you have very little liabilities, then you can start accruing some assets as well. So if you have any questions on how I set this up or how to actually figure out your own net worth, please let me know. Other YouTubers that I subscribe to and sub to this channel will probably be showing their net worths as well. So please leave me a link of any videos that I see. If you're doing your net worth calculations, I'd definitely like to see your viewpoint on this as well. All right, thanks guys, and have a great day.